Why do you keep sabotaging your own nights? Have you noticed that most of us are always exhausted, going through the motions, just dragging ourselves to get things done? You might think the problem is lack of time, daily obligations, or a packed schedule, but it's not. What's really draining your energy, clarity, and even happiness is just one thing: lack of discipline with your sleep, also known and feared as insomnia. The hard truth is, without discipline, you're sentencing your body to a cycle of bad nights and unproductive days. And it's not the world doing this to you, it's you. It's the lack of commitment to taking care of the basics. And the basics start with something simple yet powerful, called sleep. If we truly want to live with energy, stay focused, and be ready to achieve our goals, the first step is to admit there's no shortcut. Sleep isn't just a break at the end of the day. It's the fuel that keeps everything you do while awake running. So, I ask, are you ready to build the discipline that will transform your tiredness into strength? Discipline isn't a restriction. It's the basis for a life filled with peace and consistency. Have you noticed that without structure, the day becomes a chaotic string of tasks, where everything seems urgent, but nothing really flows? We wake up already exhausted and struggle to keep up. In the end, it feels like we're always one step behind, even after hustling all day. But what if all this could be avoided? Discipline is what structures your well-being. It doesn't exist to trap you, but to free you from chaos, to bring consistency and stability. And this discipline starts with sleep. When you set fixed times to sleep and wake up, your mind and body find a healthy rhythm, and you stop wasting energy trying to make up for lost hours of sleep. Picture this. One night you decide to stretch it out a bit, watch one more episode, or reply to one last message. The next morning you wake up tired, but the world isn't going to wait for you. Productivity, mood, focus, everything is compromised. Now repeat that cycle for a week, a month. In the end, you've lost a huge part of your energy, and all your potential is stuck in a constant battle against your own exhaustion. This is the trap. And the only way out is discipline. Studies show that maintaining a consistent sleep routine can reduce the risk of chronic fatigue by up to 30% and significantly improve your mood and concentration. Sleeping and waking up at the same time might feel restrictive, but this simple structure is what will give you back control and transform your day. Want to live a lighter life without that constant feeling of tiredness? Then start seeing discipline as your path to that freedom. Because in the end, true freedom is waking up rested, feeling productive, and finding peace in what once seemed impossible to organize. How many sleepless nights are you willing to endure before deciding to change? Insomnia. For many, it seems like an inevitable problem, a necessary evil of modern life. But the truth is that insomnia is a cycle of restless nights that drain your energy, exhaust your patience, and sabotage your productivity. And here's the part nobody talks about. This cycle can be broken. And the key? Discipline. Let's look at this cycle closely. Imagine that one night you decide to stay up a bit later, scrolling through social media or watching that last episode. You lose track of time, and suddenly, it's the middle of the night. The next morning, your body and mind try to function on the little energy left. Now sleep becomes a debt that only grows. Each night without proper rest intensifies your exhaustion and creates a vicious cycle. Here's where science comes in. Studies from the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine show that people with irregular sleep schedules are 45% more likely to develop chronic insomnia and often struggle more with fatigue, bad mood, and concentration issues during the day. And the worst part? Without discipline to correct these habits, the body becomes lost in an unorganized rhythm, unable to relax at bedtime. That's why discipline is the only way out. By creating a consistent routine, going to bed at the same time, turning off devices before bed, and setting up a restful environment, you're training your body to follow the right rhythm, breaking the insomnia cycle. The question is, how many more sleepless nights will you endure before committing to this change? The stress of your day is the silent villain that steals your sleep at night. Have you noticed how your mind doesn't stop even after a whole day of work? Thoughts, worries, deadlines, arguments. Everything keeps spinning, even when your body just wants to rest. What many ignore is that to sleep well, you need to start long before bedtime. The quality of your sleep depends directly on how you handle stress throughout the day. The cycle of accumulated stress is relentless. Without breaks or ways to relieve tension, you carry the weight of a whole day's worries into bed. Studies published by the National Institutes of Health show that high levels of daytime stress are directly linked to sleep quality, reducing deep sleep phases by up to 20%. the phases that truly help your mind and body recover. And how do you break this cycle? With discipline, incorporating small breaks throughout the day, practicing emotional self-control, and adopting moments of relaxation are intentional stress management strategies. And it doesn't have to be anything complicated. Taking a few minutes to close your eyes, breathe deeply, or take a short walk. These are simple but consistent actions that have a real impact on how you'll feel by the end of the day. The problem is that we often let stress take over because we believe we don't have time for breaks. But the price of this shows up at night when you try to sleep, and your mind simply refuses to slow down. So I ask you, how many more nights will be stolen by stress before you start disciplining yourself throughout the day? Do you really expect to sleep well when your bedroom is the most hectic place in the house? How many times have you walked into your room ready to sleep, but instead found yourself tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling, or worse, at your phone screen? The environment you sleep in might seem like a minor detail, but it's crucial to the quality of your sleep. The problem is that many of us turn our bedrooms into a distraction zone and then wonder why sleep doesn't come. Creating a space that promotes sleep requires discipline, but the results are undeniable. Research by the American Sleep Association shows that keeping a room dark, quiet, and cool increases the chances of achieving deep, restorative sleep by up to 50%. And the opposite is also true. The presence of lights, noise, and electronics can interrupt your sleep cycle, making rest shallow and far from restorative. Now think about your own bedroom. How many lights are on? How many electronic devices are you unable to turn off? The truth is that for many people, the bedroom has become an extension of the living room, full of activities that only overload the mind and sabotage sleep quality. The solution? Discipline in the environment. A simple yet powerful example. Commit to turning off all devices an hour before bed. Keep your phone away from the bed, darken the room, and reserve the space solely for sleep. It might seem challenging at first, but by doing this, you're sending a clear signal to your brain. This is the time to relax. Over time, your room will transform into a true sanctuary of rest. So, are you ready to make your bedroom a place of peace, or will you keep allowing the environment to keep you awake? You can't expect a good night's sleep without preparing for it. Most people view sleep as simply lying down and closing their eyes. But if you want quality sleep, you need to understand that it starts well before you hit the bed. Just like we prepare our minds and bodies for work throughout the day, sleep demands a preparation routine. A process that, with discipline, slows down your pace, relaxes your mind, and signals your body that it's time to rest. Imagine the last hours before bed as a ritual of winding down. Instead of jumping straight into bed, create a process that prepares your body for sleep. It could be light reading, a warm cup of tea, deep breathing exercises, or even a short meditation session. According to studies from Harvard Medical School, pre-sleep relaxation practices can lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone, by up to 30%, leading to deeper sleep and more effective physical and mental recovery. Now, think about how you've been treating this moment. Maybe it's in front of a screen, with your phone in hand, or with the TV on. Activities that, instead of relaxing, stimulate the brain and sabotage sleep. To change this, establish a nighttime discipline. Set a time to turn off devices and start introducing activities that help your body switch to rest mode. This routine isn't just a series of actions. It's a commitment to yourself. Each step in this nightly discipline plants the seeds for a restorative night's sleep. Treat sleep as part of a careful preparation process, and you'll see how each detail makes a difference in your rest. So now the question is, are you ready to see sleep as a process and invest in every step of it? Discipline isn't a chain holding you back, but the key that unlocks your best self. We've reached the heart of the matter. Throughout this video, we've discussed how discipline directly impacts the quality of your sleep and, as a result, the quality of your life. But one thing we need to make clear is that discipline isn't synonymous with rigidity. Quite the opposite. True discipline creates flow, freedom, and above all, peace. It's easy to see discipline as a burden, as a list of restrictions. But the reality is that it's what provides you with a full, energized life. Every small act of discipline throughout the day, in stress management, sleep preparation, creating a peaceful environment, is an investment in yourself. And the result? Days where you wake up rested, productive, and with a sense of lightness. If you genuinely want a balanced life, you need to understand that it's not sleep or rest time that steals your freedom. True freedom comes from a structured routine that isn't enslaving, but empowering. After all, what could be more liberating than waking up with a clear mind and a rejuvenated body, ready to live for what truly matters? So why not start today? See discipline as your ally to achieve a lighter, happier, and more productive life. And, in the comments, tell us about your nights of sleep. Have you been able to improve and make your days better? Starting today, your well-being is a commitment to yourself, a step towards a life filled with peace and fulfillment. Another video is appearing on the screen now that will help you in your journey towards a better life. Keep following us to enhance your discipline and self-care strategies for a balanced life, because your best self deserves your best care.